Okay, hi everyone. Welcome, Neelima. Thank you so much for joining in this particular session and taking out the time. This is Meta Charcha with me, Vikram Dutta, and we are going to have some interesting conversation today as far as Neelima's career, her life experiences, and the kind of work that she's doing and the impact that she's making. So we'll do all of that. And before I jump into asking questions and getting some wisdom out of Nilima, what we will do is do a bit of an introduction. Nilima is the founder of AIM EduTech Solutions, and she's a corporate trainer and an empowerment coach. She also has a rich experience in the HR domain, and she also works in the counseling side of things, and also works as a visiting faculty for various colleges. And that connects you, Nilima, to a lot of youth and young minds, and I think that is a great thing. Me also being in the teaching profession, I think that's one of the greatest learning experiences that we can have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Being a teacher is being a student, and I think that is the maximum impact learning that you can actually have. So
Right, right.
that's superb, experience that you're having right there. You're also interestingly a great dancer and a choreographer. So that's a very interesting combination, and you have actually anchored, these prestigious festivals like Kala Ghoda and the Time Utsav Art Festival. So multi-potentialite, we can call you. So that's again excellent. And I think out of all of this, the most I think remarkable, or the feather in your hat would be you are happily married for 2 decades and you are a mother of two grown-up
Yes,
daughters. I think that would be the jewel in your crown. Yes, and you also love traveling, exploring different cultures and cuisines. So superb, a range of professional, personal experience there. You also actually have some awards, and I would like to mention them as well. You have been awarded Iconic Women. You won this award by the Women Economic Forum in Delhi, and you
yeah,
have also have had the Best Coach Award consecutively for 2 years in your coaching community. So your coaching work is definitely being recognized and rewarded. So that's excellent as well. And we are not finished. You are also working on something that I'm going to actually ask you later on. I want to understand. You mentioned that you have a great passion to reach the maximum number of corporate professionals as you
true.
can, and you're working on a sort of an international community and creating a space. Probably you can enlighten me on that as we get to that part.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
would love to know about that. And you are also an author, right? So that's again something very, very interesting. I write as well. So very, very interesting thing there. So you have written a book called Dear Zindagi, and it is based on your life as a teenager and now being a mother of two teenage girls. So again, very interesting sort of plot there. I would love to get my hands on the book and go through it. I don't have it yet, but I would definitely have it. And the next time I meet you, I will actually have it signed by you.
Great. Yeah, definitely.
Welcome, Nilima.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Vikram, for the wonderful, long, long introduction. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Right. So, Nilima, I will jump right into understanding a bit about your work, and just enlighten me on the main thing that you work with. What I understand is mid-career professionals, and you probably help them navigate their way, the challenges when they're switching careers, probably, right?
True.
So tell me about this. When you work with these, very professionals from varying degrees of qualification, from varying degrees of experience and socioeconomic background, probably also that they come from in a country like ours. So what are the most impactful things that sort of come to your view, and what are the things that you find are most impactful when it comes to somebody, let's say, making a maneuver like that at the mid of their career, and
Hmm.
probably deciding to change careers. So speak a little bit about that.
Okay. Wonderful question, Vikram. Here, I would like to say that the mid-career professionals,
Yeah.
whom I address mostly to, are uh, for them, ideally, as we name them mid-career, so they are in the midst of their career.
Mm-hmm.
the entry is done in the organizations. They are in the corporate world,
Right.
and they have achieved to a certain extent. But abhi uske
Right.
aage kya, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
what happens is they're stuck between their passion and the uh, luxury kind of a phase where do I follow a passion or do I follow into getting my financial securities right? So it's
Right.
that's why somewhere the mid-career professional is also, I would say they are a little confused where what exactly to achieve. So while switching over, this is, I think, the main thing which they are. Uh, this is the main challenge which they face. Where do they look out to? Are they looking out to get into a leadership role,
Mm-hmm.
or are they looking out to follow their passion? So many a times it happens that they move on to become an entrepreneur to follow their passion, which is,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
think, very needed, because somewhere if you're following your passion, the risk taking ability also definitely comes in.
Correct.
And of course, now if the within the corporate, if a mid-career professional is trying to navigate or trying to move to another organization, so most importantly is upgrading their skills. That is where the mismatch happens, because they are with a certain set of skills, and to move on to a new role, obviously there now we know how much the technology is moving ahead, how many there are so many skill sets happening, and at a certain point, as I said, entry level happens at an academic uh, mark sheet or academic level. But when you're
Correct.
moving ahead in your career, the skill
Right.
set is what matters. How
Absolutely.
efficient are you able to deal with your team? How efficient are you able to make decisions? How efficiently are you managing the whole environment of the office, getting a maneuver in the culture, and so on? So that
Right.
is where the skill gap definitely is another challenge which I find in the mid-career professional.
Right.
To overcome that, definitely they need to be updated,
Mm.
not only in terms of their domain specialization, but also the skill sets, because this is what going to take them ahead,
Right.
upgrading their skill sets, how
Right.
they're going to behave with their peers, how they're going to deal with their bosses, their client management, the conflict
Right.
management, everything comes in.
Sure.
And then definitely the fear of transition,
Mm.
because sometimes people get, like, I have worked in a corporate for almost 8 to 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people, like, I have some of my friends who are still in that same corporate where we got placed, because
Right.
somewhere that comfort level is there. We
Right.
are set with their routine, we are set with that comfort. And
Right.
even if we go back to our parents,
Mm.
they were also like, एक जगह पे
Entire
ज्वाइन किया
life they
वहीं
would
पे,
spend in one
yeah,
job.
retire, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But I
Right.
think we don't come with that mindset, because we want to explore new avenues. But to
Correct.
explore new avenues, we have to somewhere start again, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
when you're moving on to an organization, it is not only just changing the job, it is also getting accustomed to the organization culture, to the people, to the policies, to the processes, everything. So
Mm.
some mid-career professionals or some professionals do have this fear कि क्या
Right.
मैं इसमें adjust होगा, नहीं जाने दो, छोड़ो, I'll continue with this. So that
Mm.
comfort level, so getting out of that comfort level is very important.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
definitely adopting to the new industries,
Mm.
because uh, some people may move on from IT to IT, some may move on to IT to banking, to IT to edutech, and so on.
Right.
So, am I able to adjust to that new industry? Am I able to adopt to the new industry? That is also very important. So, these are a few challenges which I feel, which I have come across while
Right.
coaching and mentoring.
Right.
That these are few challenges. So, the skill sets, they are
Okay.
transition fear, they
Mm.
are again what I would say, the adapting to new industry,
Right.
and their
Right.
comfort zone. This is all,
Coming out of the
uh,
comfort zone. So yeah.
yeah. So that these are the challenges which they mostly face.
Right.
So I would say best way to overcome is start networking,
Okay.
and networking not only in your organization, but because in the organization somewhere everyone has known you because you're there. But
Yes.
attending webinars, attending fairs, attending conferences. So there you meet different people in the industry, and there you need to create your visibility. And then,
Correct.
of course, upskilling yourself.
Right.
That was the more the I would say upskilling is this. key to success nowadays. You
Right,
have to keep on upgrading yourself, keep
right,
on having that continuous learning process.
right, 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 right. Excellent. I'm really glad you brought up some points which are very close to my heart actually, and I would like to highlight a few. One is you mentioned the fact that when in our parents' generation, generally the thing was they get into a job and they will spend their entire life in that job, and in fact
Absolutely.
the retirement age was pushed from 60 to 62. They would be very happy because they get 2 more years of service and
True,
they
true.
would be
Yes,
getting a salary for 2 more years. So
yes,
that is how careers were seen just one generation before us, and with our generation. And when I talk to a lot of our students who come to us for career guidance and things like that, we always tell them that this whole follow your passion thing is very new. I mean, in our parents' generation, nobody was thinking if they got their job in an electricity board
yeah,
or in a bank.
true.
I mean, they were never thinking that, oh, my calling is not to work in a bank. they,
Right, right.
they would not think that, my passion is somewhere else.
For
What they would
them, I
do,
think the financial security was more important. Ki
yes,
I'm
yes,
earning, I'm saving so that my children are well taken care of. Their
exactly.
education, that was the main. Now also, every like even
Right,
I have two daughters. I do that
right,
have in mind.
right,
But somewhere, me, my family, daughters have realized that if I'm not following my passion, then probably I'm not happy. So that's the reason I didn't continue with the corporate job because yeah,
right,
HR I enjoy. I
right,
enjoyed recruitment. I enjoyed interacting with people. But
right,
then when I got into training, that's where I decided, and then coaching, of course, that
right,
no, this is not something. I think I need to focus on creating my specialization, creating my niche where I can give the best, I can create the impact, and as well as I get that satisfaction that okay,
correct,
by the end
correct.
of the day, okay, I have created or I have impacted at least two people in
Right.
day to day that way.
Right, right, right. No, obviously, because you are right. What used to happen was because our whole job system actually not after the digital revolution, but before that, the whole job structure was a result of the 200-year-old industrial
True,
revolution.
true, true.
It was entirely based on learning a particular skill set which is repeatable, and creative jobs are very few. And you would essentially learn to do something well, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then
Correct,
you
correct.
don't even actually think of changing a job because you are actually doing it for 20 years. Then why would you want to learn something new at
Right,
this point,
right,
right?
right. Yeah.
So it was more of I think very industrial revolution driven sort of a system that was going on. And now obviously we live in a very, very different world. And you also, very pertinently highlighted the fact that the importance today is of skill development, right? And that is the area that I function in, and I am very sort of intrigued by that. I got
Mm.
introduced to the skill development sector actually about 8 or 9 years ago, and before that, I did not have much idea about what the skill development sector would essentially mean. I mean, we used to know that there were courses that you could do that are non-formal in nature, and there is obviously the formal education system that all of us
Right, yeah.
compulsorily are
Yeah.
putting through, right? But if I don't like the formal education system, the only option that I had was to go and do some courses in some private institution, and that is all that I could do. But now, in the last 10 years, there has been a lot of emphasis on the entire skill development sector as well. And within the formal context also, there is this, as you said,
Yes, yes.
the importance is being realized that it is not about my degree. My degree can
Right,
give me an entry, right?
right.
But
Yes,
after the
absolutely.
entry, your growth cannot happen just based on your degree. You don't
Right,
wear
right.
your degree and go around, right?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
it is
So
it
in
is
fact, I would like to bring to your notice that now, since I'm visiting faculty with a lot of colleges over here,
yeah,
design college, engineering college, they have been starting introducing these subjects like critical thinking. So I teach critical thinking. I teach personal skills in business communication. So these skills, these subjects have started being introduced even at engineering level. So
yes,
when I
yes.
was an engineer, ये सारे subjects नहीं थे. They were very specific subject
Only engineering,
course. Yes,
engineering.
only engineering. But now they have professional ethics. They have critical thinking, and so on. So yes, the education system is also improving on this.
Right,
They are highlighting on skill development as well,
right,
right
right.
from the start. Yeah.
Right, right. So leads me to my next question, and in fact, actually, you already touched upon it. I would like you to probably, elaborate a bit more on it.
Mhm.
That is to, when we so because I specifically work, and a lot of my audience is going to be people from specifically the skill-based sector, right? So they are
Mhm.
not probably people who have gone very high in their formal education. They're not necessarily in a corporate setup, and you come from a very very specific corporate setup as far as your experience is concerned, and also your current work. So because you already mentioned that there is this importance of skill development, so the other thing that I see in the skill sector is that they probably have the skill. It's actually it's the other end of the spectrum. So they're probably very skilled in their work. Like the technical skill set is there.
Yeah,
They know
yeah,
what they
yeah.
want to do. For I'll give you an example. So if you go to, wherever you go to get your haircut, for example, the lady or the gentleman who does your haircut would be very skilled with the scissors, right?
True.
Otherwise, you would not go. I mean, that is a job where the result is like instant, right? You either
Hmm. Hmm.
got it
Hmm.
right or you didn't. I mean,
Right.
there is no like a turnaround time to see the result. So it is like I take the example of a hairdresser because it is the most instant result that you immediately see.
Hmm.
Also, the job of a chef or a cook, it's like very instant, right?
Right, right,
So they do have the skill, right? They definitely have the technical skill set, but not all of them. I'm not generalizing it, but not all of them have the other skill sets that can propel them in their career. For example, interpersonal skills, as you said,
right.
critical thinking, for example, and all those things. So the gap here is that a corporate professional probably may stagnate in their skill set, but they get the other things going because of how the sector and the industries function. And in this sector, generally their skills are there, but then they probably lack the other things. So could you bridge the gap in terms of our understanding there, that what those professionals can learn from the corporate sector in terms of as you said, interpersonal skills, critical thinking, and other things, and how can that help a skill based professional, very very technically sound, but
Mm-hmm.
let's say not really exposed to or not ever worked on the other areas, and they may even think that it is not important.
So yeah. So can you repeat the question once again, Vikram?
So I'm saying the professionals who are skill based,
Right.
right, so technically sound, but they
Mm-hmm.
probably feel, that it is not important for me to know about the other things, to understand professional ethics, to understand interpersonal
Mm-hmm.
communication. Just I do my job and I'm good at my job. That should be enough, right? So that is a
Hmm.
limited way of thinking,
Hmm.
and a lot of times it's may not be even limited thinking. It is just they're unaware, right? So I want you to speak about the importance of these things, the lessons you
Okay.
learned from your corporate experience of decades, and
Mm-hmm.
sort of bring that to the skill development sector, and highlight the importance of those skill sets.
Right. Yeah. So, see, as you rightly mentioned, that these people are very technically sound. They are
Mhm.
very experts in their own domain. Now,
Correct.
imagine the same the hairdresser which you've been to
Yeah.
is he just like takes you on your seat and just does a haircut and he's like, oh yeah, right. But if
Mhm.
the same hairdresser is welcoming you with a smile, saying a good morning, is neatly dressed, even though he's a hairdresser, is neatly dressed
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
offers you a chair, cleans the chair before, offers you the chair, and then does the work and then greets you nicely and escorts you to till the um, uh,
Exit of the
exit
shop.
door or exit of the shop and so
Yeah.
on. Ha-
Right.
Definitely that experience will have some impact on you
Sure.
and that person will have that some impact on you. This
Sure.
is what these skills uh, create an impact. Now I'll give you a simple example. uh, I visit colleges. So there's one
Yeah.
college over here where I go like it's I go as a visiting faculty, so
Mhm.
parking becomes a lot of issue, and I am very particular about that because I get irritated when I don't find a parking. So
Okay.
when they offer me the session, my first question is parking hai kya? So he's like, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then this happened very recently. Like I went for this lecture, and it was in the morning at 9 o'clock or 9:15. I went. This watchman opened the door. First, he asked me, "Ma'am, where are you from?" So I told him I'm a visiting faculty. So I
Mhm.
gave him a nice smile, and
Mhm.
I said thank you to him while
Right.
leaving. So it was a 3 hour session. I left it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened was I forgot my pen drive over there at
Okay.
yeah. So I had to go for the like I had to collect it. But I was like कि वापस एक pen drive के लिए तो मुझे parking देंगे नहीं वो. But then the next day what happened was I went to the door. I went to the gate just to tell them कि I'll just take the pen drive. Just give me 1 minute time. It's already there in the office desk. I have to just collect it. But
Right.
that watchman didn't ask me anything. He is like, ma'am, आप कल ही वही थे ना जिन्होंने मुझे थैंक यू बोला, गुड मॉर्निंग बोला था. आई एम लाइक यस. So that small thing, that small gesture remained as mine, and that made my life easy. So
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
this skill development are
Right.
this very small thing, but they really create an impact.
Right.
Imagine like a watchman remembering you for such a small gesture. There may be n number of faculties coming in and out daily,
Yeah.
students
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
But how did you remember? Because of this one. So that is what the importance of developing those skills.
Right.
I may be good at my domain, but if these skills are because as I said, nowadays corporates are not focusing. Yes, the academics, the technical skills do matter, but you're
Right.
hired because you're good at academics and technical skills. पर
Mm.
आप आगे कैसे बढ़ोगे?
Correct.
You
Correct.
have to have those interpersonal skills. You have to
Yeah.
have those critical things. So uh, I, as a corporate professional, when if I have to take back my life lesson, for
Mm-hmm.
me it was continuous learning.
Yeah.
The like when honestly when I was in corporate, I didn't learn much, but I was getting a hands-on experience of
Mm.
new role. And
Right.
when I quit, even now I keep on learning. I keep on learning whatever skills I feel. So probably that's the reason my introduction went on so long, because these are the skills which so writing was never my domain. But then I felt ki, let's give it a try, because
Right.
so I
Right.
started learning I saw how we can write a book and I started working on it.
Mm.
Visual facilitation is one of the skills
Right.
which I've learned that I have started
Right.
applying in corporates, which is also helping me.
Mm.
So that is what, this is one of the most important thing which I have learned. Second,
Right.
I would say is managing your time effectively. So prioritizing work, where I think you can take a reference of Eisenhower matrix, where you
Mm.
focus on what is urgent and what is important for you.
Correct.
So
Correct.
learn to delegate things. Many a times we feel नहीं ये हम लोग कर लेंगे,
Mm.
but that is not how you work in a corporate, right? You need to map your individual to your organizational goals. You
Correct.
need you're not an individual contributor. Yes, you are an individual contributor, but
But you're a
if
part
the
of organization.
yes, but if the organization has to create a success, you need to be a part of the whole team. So
Yeah.
how are you collaborating?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
is the team creating an impact? So working in teams, identifying the strength or weakness of your team members, and
Mm.
then accordingly delegating. And
Right.
most importantly is learning to say a no.
Mm. Yes.
Because
Yes.
this
Yes. Yes.
sometimes to create that impact, to be in the happy books of your work, sometimes you're like you're overdoing things, which again somewhere it also creates a self doubt for yourself कि मैं अपने बॉस को खुश करने के चक्कर में आई एम लाइक drowning my health, I'm drowning my efficiency, because
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously as an individual you just can't do everything. जितना
Right.
भी हम बोले कि नहीं I can do it, you can't do everything,
Because
because there are
it's not
things.
practical. It's not
Yeah,
practical to think
right.
about
So
that. Yeah.
prioritize what is important for you and what is going to help you in the long run. That is
Yeah.
very important.
Right. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to highlight the point that you said about saying no, and I think this is not only about work. This is about life, right?
Life, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a life lesson. That's what, yeah.
Correct. So
In personal as well as professional life.
yes, the ability to say no, and to say no in a way, if possible, without offending people, without
True,
making them
true,
feel bad,
true.
and also ensuring that you have your own space protected, you have your own space, to do what you want to do or what you are supposed to do. A lot of
Absolutely,
times, I
right.
think people may feel, and in corporates also, I have seen it, that they probably, because of maybe they thought about it, or maybe they think that this is the only way that can help them grow in the organization, to become a yes man or a yes woman, and
Right, absolutely,
say
yeah.
yes to everything and become a people pleaser in the sense.
Yeah.
But then over a period of time, what they may not realize, because this happens very gradually, is that you are actually not able to contribute to your full potential because you are stretched
True.
thin by saying yes to everything. And probably if you would have prioritized, as you said, and if you're focused on a couple of areas where you are very very good at and rejected everything else, you would probably grow much faster based
Right,
solely on your
right,
performance,
right.
and the outcomes that you can deliver, right? So I think
Yeah,
and that is the case with relationships, and our friendships, and so many other things in life. Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, one of the most important lessons. And in today's day and age of so much information bombardment and so much over connectivity that is there, I think again, the ability to say no becomes a even bigger superpower in a
you're
sense.
right, right,
I face this. I'll share this personal anecdote. So, on Instagram nowadays, there's this whole thing about forwarding memes and reels, right?
right,
So, you have a group of friends, you have one individual, you have one person that you connect on one particular level, and then
right, right.
at end of the day, you open your Instagram inbox and you are like overwhelmed by the responses that you have to give, because otherwise it feels like, oh, I'm not responding to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And because somebody puts let's say the habit of going to a toilet and spending 15 minutes on your Instagram, you forward probably 200 reels to some 50 people,
True, true,
and
true.
and then your inbox is overwhelmed. And
This
I think,
this happens with youth a lot
yeah,
nowadays. I've seen
yes,
that
yes,
just to be in the good books of the good people,
yeah,
they tend to do so many things which are not in their to-do
yeah,
list as well. So
yes, yes, yes,
this
yes.
this really is a cause of concern also.
Exactly, because you're forced to sort of, you're already
True.
consuming so much, which is not probably required, this much overstimulation of your senses, and then you are forced because you feel obligated to reply to people,
Right,
and
right,
on to what has been shared with you. So I think
right,
that's a very very pertinent point of being able to say no in many areas of our
you're
lives.
right.
So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And
Yeah.
okay, Nilma, the next thing that I want to actually ask you is about the importance of communication skills. I mean, obviously, everybody today knows the importance of communication skills and its role in professional growth. But from your experience, I would like to hear from you. What have you seen, experience, and have you seen any specific examples, anecdotes where improving communication skills has helped somebody grow in their career in a probably a very
Right.
dramatic way or anything of that sort?
Yeah. So, Vikram, this I can personally relate to this skill very much because
Mhm.
from a person who, if you go back to my school days, for a person who was very shy, hardly
Mm,
known to people, now people know me as a person who can just go on the stage and talk anything and everything. Matlab,
mm,
I just give hand over the mic and I can just go on and talk.
right.
So that's how communication skills improve. I never thought I will ever become a good orator or a good communication expert, giving people gyan on communication.
Mm,
Because
mm,
I was very shy and I was that kind but somewhere I think that again I identified my passion and that connected me the
mm,
way I interacted with people, and also the people also started exploring and advising, okay, this is what is working for you.
right. Right.
Again, communication skill is, as you rightly said, it is important in the industry. Not
Mm,
only in the industry, I think if I have to see, it's important in your personal as well as professional life,
exactly.
because somewhere
Exactly.
communication is, I would say, that word, effective communication, that word itself, those two words are so impactful that it helps you build that trust, be it in your personal relationship or be it in your professional relationship. Because
Right.
that, uh, because what happens is, if you're able to communicate, now, for example, you are looking for growth in the organization. So for that,
Mm,
obviously, you need to get that kind of an exposure. But if you don't
right.
communicate this to your bosses, if you're not communicating to your team leaders or to your managers, how are they going to understand? No
Right.
one is antaryami here, right? You have to
Right.
communicate, कि, okay, boss, I need to grow. I
Right.
need a bigger role. You need to start
Right. 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 Right.
expressing, right? So unless and until you express what you have in mind,
Mm.
Obviously, because if you don't express, somewhere your goals are not getting satisfied, and that affects your productivity. बिकॉज आप
Yes.
अपने करंट रोल में खुश नहीं हो क्योंकि आपको ग्रो करना है एंड इफ यू आर नॉट हैप्पी then
Mm.
that is again going to create an impact on the whole organizational performance
True.
because you
True.
are part of that organization, right? So
Yes.
somewhere I would say communication helps build that trust and
Mm.
which also fosters into meaningful relationships.
Right.
Yes, and
Right.
that is very important. And
Mm.
definitely, as I said, it enhances your personality, the way
Yes.
you communicate. Now, communication is not only verbal, but it also comes on how you present yourself, your body language,
True.
the way you dress up, the way you put your face. So
Yeah.
I think if we go back to COVID times, this was the only thing which was visible to most of the people because most of the
Yeah.
thing was online. So I as a faculty or I as a trainer could not afford to have a blank face, irrespective of I have
Yeah.
windows, all the windows open or no. I had to have that smile on my face
Yeah.
because this is what speaks, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how you are expressing, how you are meeting your client, a simple the handshake also matters, the kind of another
Yes. Yes.
definitely the dressing and grooming everything has changed but accordingly how are you dressed up, the way you walk
Right.
shows your
Yeah.
confidence, the way you talk shows the
Yes.
clarity of your thoughts because if because
Correct.
that clarity reflects on your personality. If you're confused, if you are not having your thought process clear, that reflects on your personality
Mm.
कि नहीं मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ वो बराबर है कि नहीं. So automatically your shoulders
Actually.
go down, right? So that reflects on your
Mm.
personality. Now also
Right.
communication very importantly helps you in resolving those conflicts. So that's part of non-verbal
Yes.
communication. But yes, it so a simple thing like if you are like suppose we all are sitting in a meeting and Vikram is late to a meeting,
Mm.
you're 15 minutes late.
Mm.
Mostly what you'll do, any person or if like Vikram तू तो लेट हो गया 15 मिनट. Now that वो
Mm.
बोलने से अच्छा if I say कि Vikram, we would have appreciated if you would have come on time or because things are timeline and
Mm.
because we have everything planned, this
Yeah.
15 minutes is causing a delay in other program, right? So
Mm.
instead of saying directly कि तू तो late हो गया and saying it in a different way, in a positive way, but also helping you understand you are late and that is also delayed the whole process, right?
Right.
So
Right.
definitely both are different, but
Right.
the message is one. And obviously what you will like, you will definitely like the other way, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
आपको पता भी चल गया है पर आपको इम्पोर्टेंस भी पता चला है कि वो 15 मिनट मैंने लूज किया है.
Correct.
So that's the way the communication helps. The
Mm.
non-verbal,
Absolutely.
non-violent communication, I would say, that
Mm.
will help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here I would like to ask you one question now. When I am not able to communicate. Like,
Mm.
for example, if I have to ask you, you're due for a promotion,
Mm. Mm.
okay, and uh, and it's a very like something which you had been looking for,
Okay.
but again, there your family is getting compromised because obviously it's a promotion, it's a new role,
Mm.
and a lot of time would be gone on your
Mm.
work side. How
Right.
would you handle this?
I think initially I would think about what is more important for me at this
Absolutely
particular
right.
point.
Yeah.
Whether the family time or let's say I've just become a father and and I have a promotion due. Even then, I would think about the promotion would have a better future for the child, but at the same time, I would not be able to give time, and
Right, right.
so I will have
Yeah.
to probably
So
I'll be in
exactly.
conflict
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that conflict is going on in your mind. So
Yeah.
here, definitely, you have to first prioritize what is important for you.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, if I put a promotion and a family, both are equally important, right?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
again, what is helping you grow and identify your long-term goals, right? So
Correct.
that's where that communication comes in.
Mm.
So talk to your family because your family is your biggest support in your growth,
Mm.
right? Be it a neutral family, be it a joint family, you need to communicate. अगर आप communicate वो time पे नहीं क्योंकि how much that promotion is important for you, that needs to be communicated to your family,
Right.
your friends,
Right.
because your time is getting distributed now,
Right.
and
Right.
you're going to focus more on the work. So even your friends are going to suffer, right?
Right.
Because if you're a social person, obviously there are commitment to your friends as well, right? To your family, to your relatives, to your parents. So you need
Right.
to communicate them, and that is what going to help you bridge the gap, and that is what
And
you're
I'll
going
get the
to help.
support also from them once they
Yes,
understand.
yes, right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
see, honestly, I have been there. I have seen this, how my friends, how my family has supported. Because from a corporate job, getting into a solopreneur and then doing everything, that took a lot of time in me. But they
Right.
knew that this is my passion and this is
Right.
what is going to
Right.
help me grow. And
Right.
mainly, this is what is going to keep me happy. So if
Right.
they know, if mama, like even my daughter say, if mama is happy, the things around us are happy. So to keep mama happy, they have supported
Yeah.
me. Like
No, but that's true. Yeah.
yeah. So my friends have been there. We have gone on trips, but there also I have taken sessions. They know it is important. So ठीक है, 1 hour I have taken online sessions. So that's how
Right.
they've supported me, because I've communicated to them that this is important to me, and this is
Right.
how this is going to keep me happy. This is going to have a smile on my face, and that is
Right.
important for me.
Right.
So that's where the communication skills
Sure.
are very important.
Sure. 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 Absolutely. And that's superb. Really. You went to the larger context of the importance of communication
Yeah.
as well, and that's very very enlightening. So I also wanted to understand from the communication standpoint. You said that you are a public speaker as well. You can speak to groups. I know. I think there are more people in the world that are fearful of public speaking than people who fear ghosts. So public speaking is like a dread for most people.
Right.
So
Right.
do you
Right.
have any quick tips or any advice that people can probably work on if they, because I know a lot of our students who get these opportunities in sometimes a college or a corporate space or many other setups where they can go and speak about what they know and do some a seminar sort of activity. But even if they have the knowledge, even if they can speak on one and they're very good at it, even then there's this
Right. Right. Right.
huge fear
Yeah.
that holds them back of speaking in front of a group. So how would you guide somebody there?
So simple. See, nothing happens on right in one night, right?
Yeah.
You have to practice. So there's nothing rocket science, or you don't have to get scared.
Mm,
Only thing is you have to practice. I have
right.
done that. Practice in front of the mirror
Mm,
to see how you're expressing yourself. To
right.
work on your face a lot,
Mm, correct.
and keep yourself an accountability partner. That is very important, because so if I have got an opportunity to speak somewhere, as you said, most of your students have. So
Mm,
take buddies and make them practice with each other,
mm,
right? That is going to help build in their confidence, and then practice each other. And practicing in front of the mirror definitely helps, because
yeah.
when you're practicing in the mirror, you start visualizing the whole process. So
Mm,
if you said that if Vikram is being invited at a particular forum, start visualizing, and that practicing in the front of mirror gives you that authority to visualize yourself in that forum, and then automatically that confidence comes in. See, this
right.
is not going to happen overnight. You have
Right.
to practice. So
Obviously.
simple tip is practice karo, write it down, whatever you want to speak. Now you may say कि आजकल के AI के जमाने में क्या आप बोल रहे हो, write it down, but it definitely helps. Like, even
Yes.
if there are small pointers, I go for sessions. If you can't, don't believe, even now I have like something pointers written out. What if I, like, if you ask me, because you've
Yeah.
not told me, so if you ask me on communication what should I speak, because that
Right.
helps as a reference.
Yes. Yes.
And there's no shame to refer to something,
Obviously.
right? Because
Obviously.
that is going to help you give a kickstart. So if
Yes.
I say that, if I have to talk on health aspect, if I talk on gut health, if I talk on the importance of meditation, if I talk on importance of core health, I need to at least have some pointers, ना कि core क्या है, कौन से
Correct.
time पे करना है. I need to have these pointers. So keep a
Right.
reference point.
Right.
And if you're good at writing and practicing that, because when you're writing, you're expressing your thoughts.
Mm, mm. Yes,
तो
yes.
कितना भी हम AI but में चले जाए, but that writing definitely helps
Oh,
to express
absolutely.
your thoughts, and that helps you because once it is on paper, you know it is there for me.
Yeah,
So refer that and practice it.
right.
Practice, practice, and practice.
Right, super. Thanks a lot. I
And
want
dress well. Huh? That is one more thing.
to
Dress
dress
well because that
well.
makes you confident.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. Obviously. That'll give you the, that boost to stand in front of
Yeah, yeah.
the audience
So
properly.
I have, like, when I go for sessions and all, I see to it that I wear heels because wearing a heel gives me that confidence.
Mm,
मैं मतलब नहीं, मैं बात ही नहीं कर सकती हूँ when I am
right.
like I feel कि नहीं, मैं कहीं पे एक low level पे आ गई हूँ. So that is even though my doctor has recommended कि heels नहीं पहनना, you have, like, I do it. So, like, doctor has given
Public
option, but
speaking, yeah.
yeah,
I hope your doctor is not watching this.
he knows it.
Right. All right, great. So, some people may wonder that what is the connection between something that comes out of your mouth and something that you wear on your foot.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But
But it definitely creates that
yeah,
impact.
obviously. Great. I also wanted to ask you, because in your bio I have read and we have spoken a little bit. So, is there a difference between these two terms, training and coaching? Are these two things different or are they the same thing? How do you see this? Or what is the
Okay.
actual definition of it, is if there's any?
You are deal with a lot of students, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is there a difference?
Uh, I think so. Now that I have seen after the community, and I'll be honest with you because I've always thought coaching, teaching, and
Correct.
training would be sort of synonymous words. It's just
Right,
that the
right.
setup differs, but
Yeah.
the terms would essentially mean delivering information in an impactful way. So that
Right.
is how I would think of it up until now. When I was talking, and I thought that they may be actually having completely different
So
context and
here I would like, just before our talk, I was just making this. I'll just like to show you one picture.
sure.
I hope it's visible. So I think this picture gives you a clear differentiation in what a trainer. So
Mm,
if you see, as a trainer, I am delivering to multiple people,
mm, okay.
right? But as a coach, I am dealing with one individual and
Mm,
helping that individual create that impact. Right? As a trainer, when I am working, see, both are my passion. I won't say it's like one is my, so both are my daughter. So one is my elder and one is my younger. So
yeah, yeah.
as a trainer, when I go,
Mm,
I have a minimum 25 to 30 people, and it's a session. And what happens is most of the trainings are on particular topics. So it may be on grooming, it may be on communication or time management. And then it happens for the 2 hours or 3 hours or for a day long session. But
okay.
after that, so after the training, I get to hear the feedback. Wow, the training was good. I get good feedbacks and everything.
Right.
But what about the ROI? Because I don't meet unless and until it's a continuous project, which I do with some of the hospitals here in Mumbai. But
Okay.
otherwise, it is a one-time thing. I don't meet them. I just do a online or an offline session for 6 hours, and then
Okay.
I don't like what time pay it is done. But
Mm,
when I am doing a coaching,
mm,
I see the difference in my mentees because it's a continuous process. I
right.
am working with that person, working with that individual for maybe for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, depending upon what exactly the person is looking at. So I am getting to see that transformation. I'm getting to see that impact in
Mm,
that mentee through my coaching. So that's where I would say the difference is between training and coaching. With training, both are impactful. Both are,
mm,
the
mm,
training happens, and as a trainer, I train 25 to 30 or 100 maybe at a time. Coaching, I would say it's creating an individual impact.
right.
So
Right.
that's where the difference comes. So
Right.
coaching,
Right.
you can see the transformation within that person.
Mm, so you
Yeah.
work more closely with the person that you are
Yes,
coaching.
yes. So I basically focus on the holistic development of these professionals,
Mm-hmm.
wherein, so these are working professionals. It can be a doctor or a lawyer or anyone. So
Mm,
I work on their uh, identifying their core, identifying their inner potential, and help them transform from a me to we journey. So if they are working with corporates, I help them navigate from an individual contributor to an organizational contributor, or
Right.
simply how, as an individual, can create an impact as a person in their personal as well as professional life. So I work on the holistic development of an
Okay.
individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Superb. So, my simple brain understands this as, when we were in school, our class would had probably 60, 70 students, and that is
Right,
schooling.
right.
And when we go to the same teacher for a tuition class in the evening, that would be coaching, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, yeah. So if I tell my parents what is coaching, so they recollect or what you say, resonate with that. कि
okay.
अरे हाँ कोचिंग वो हो रहता था तो आई एम
Okay.
लाइक ओके अभी
Okay.
उनको क्या
So,
कितना
so
समझ
I'm an old soul in that sense. Then
Yeah.
I'm understanding it from your parents'
Yeah.
perspective. Great. So, thank you for clearing that out, and it also gives me a lot of perspective. I also wanted to ask you, out of curiosity, that why did you choose to work specifically with mid-career professionals? Is there any specific reason, personal, professional, or you saw
See,
this potential in it?
honestly, yeah, I think I've mentioned this in the start as well, because somewhere as a mid-career professional, I found that stage very confusing, or probably no proper guidance, no proper pathway to go ahead. So that's the reason probably I took time to decide on what to do next.
Mm,
So that's where I felt ki, okay, start of the career, as I said, you get the breakthrough through your academics and all. But
right.
this
Right.
is the place, or this is the time where I think most mentoring is important, because they are not sure okay, what to do next. Should I focus on my current work, or should I switch on to my role? So, if I am married, then whether should I get on to family planning? Should I get on to getting a new car, or should I invest in different investment schemes and
Mm,
so on? So I feel that is a little confused. I won't say confused, but they are not sure on what to do. There is a
mm,
lack of clarity happening in that stage. And I
yeah.
believe even you must have gone through that. I have personally gone through, and
Yeah.
I've seen my friends been through
Most
that.
of us do
So
actually.
yeah. So then I thought that this is the best stage where they need that hand holding,
Mm,
right? They need that mentor at that time who can help you
yeah.
navigate, or who can empower you to take those decisions. So as a coach, I would say I don't tell them कि तुम ये करो, तुम वो करो, but I empower them so that they can take their own decisions.
And they can come up with their own
They can
answers.
come answers, yeah. So they can. So I don't tell them. I don't. So that's where there's a difference between a coach and the person who guides or
Right.
counsels. कि generally people expect कि नहीं तुम बताओ कि ये करना है. I am not going to tell you. You have to identify what is good for you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will be there. I will guide you. Okay,
Right.
we can work on this way. So
Mm,
that's where I feel, and that's the reason probably I am very passionate about these professionals, because somewhere I can relate my journey to them. So I have a lot of stories to share with them as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of your most inner calling comes from your own experiences and the challenges that
absolutely,
you have
absolutely. Yes,
faced,
yes,
right?
yes.
And
Yeah,
they always say that be the person that you needed, right?
yeah, true.
So,
Yeah,
so I think that's what you chose to do, and that's what sort of puts you
right.
in that
Yeah,
place of following your passion. That's superb. So I also wanted to understand, as I said in the beginning, you mentioned that there's something that you're working on.
yeah.
You want to create a space for professionals where they can express themselves, or
Right, right.
put
Yeah.
out their voice. So enlighten me about that. What is that all about?
So, to be honest, I'm not allowed to speak much, because
Okay.
yeah. So the one with whom I'm collaborating, we are still on the
Ideation
working,
stage,
yeah,
working. Okay.
initiation stage. But yes, we've finalized on the name, and we've finalized. So
Okay.
basically, this is going to be a space for mostly for the working professional again,
Okay.
where now, as I said, working professionals can be anyone. They can be a doctor, they can be a teacher, anyone who is not finding that space
Mm, mm,
to express. This would be a virtual community which we are looking at. So
okay.
it would be a virtual community where we are looking, where these working professionals will come and express,
Okay.
and also we will be having some engaging activities, and also will be empowering them. So
Mm.
that's the reason it was where I said that a space where they can
Mm.
express, engage, and empower themselves. So
Right,
we
right.
so this program, as I said, it is going to be virtual. This community is going to be virtual, and then we are having two flagship programs for this, where one is going to be a retreat.
Okay,
Yeah, so one is going to be retreat, which will be launching soon in January, and followed by a 3 months, sorry, 6 weeks program, where
okay.
again we'll be working on mindfulness, we'll be working on the self awareness, and then also helping them express and giving. So we have a day to day log sheet or an activity sheet, which will keep them engaged, and that will empower them towards the end of 6 weeks. And obviously, once they are part of the program, they're part of the community. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of community initiatives we are planned. So
Okay.
that's how we are going to work on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, superb. So this is what I'm understanding. Obviously, I'm excited and looking forward to see this workout come to life, and I'm sure it is going to be exciting and valuable.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
this is an extension of what you are doing and bringing a lot
Yes.
more
Yes.
value to the whole effort, and bringing it into a particular
Because
platform and making a
yeah.
community out of it.
Right. Because we've seen nowadays a lot of corporate professionals are going through a lot of burnouts, a lot of harassments and all.
Yeah.
So, like it's so my partner he's a psychologist. So
Okay.
he also comes across a lot of professionals of this
Yes.
thing
Yes.
facing these issues. So that's where when we were discussing, we like, why not create a space where they can come and talk it out, or where we can help them
Mm.
get out of this burnout, get out of these kind of situations. Right?
Yes.
So that's where we are working towards it.
Superb. This is much needed. I think,
Yeah.
we come across every other person today is facing some sort of mental
Right,
distress,
right, right.
sort of
Yeah.
burnout, overworking, and all of those things. And when I say every other person, I think the one that does not seem like facing is the person who actually hides it well, probably doesn't speak
True.
about it. So, in every sense, I think it would be almost everybody who is going through this. And I think it is much needed. So, great work there, Nilima. Nilma, my last question. I've taken a lot of your time. Tell me if there are any, personal experiences, lessons that you have learned through your times, your experience, or business professional lessons that you have learned, and something that you keep very close to you and you carry with you all the time. And if you were to, let's say, told to just share, some of those advice very shortly, what would you say?
For me, I think persistent or being consistent has helped me a lot.
Right.
So,
Right.
be it simple thing like posting on LinkedIn. So
Mm.
I am, if you look at my profile, you must
Yeah.
have seen, like from past 3 years, I'm very consistent on LinkedIn, expressing myself,
Right.
right? So
Right.
be consistent on what you are doing, be visible,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Right.
And I am a strong believer of a commitment. Like I am a like if I take up something, I believe in my commitments and I follow it. So that's
Right.
another thing. And again, I would say uh, find like for me, finding an accountability partner has helped a lot.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
like be it in professional, be it in personal life, if I won't say someone who is like ticking me, but at least someone who is there to give a right check. Okay, okay, Nilima, by end of
Mm.
the day, have you completed this task?
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
So having an accountable partner, and also when you're setting your goals, having clarity in those goals. So having definite goals, right? Not the haywire goals, having a
Mm.
definite load. So if like Vikram is looking, sorry to say that, but if Vikram is looking at losing 10 kgs of weight, if losing at weight by end of or by June 2025,
Mm.
I would say how much are you planning? So define that weight. So that
Right.
clarity has given or rather helped me uh, give my actions give my work a proper action, I would say, because
Mm.
I know this is my goal by end of the year, so I have worked towards those goals,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So that has set a clarity. So these so being like commitment has helped me, consistency has helped me, and Definitely having clear set of goals, and for me personal, again, creating a work life balance, managing my time
Amazing.
effectively. Probably I am not boosting myself, but I'm known for that. So that balance has helped me uh, create that mental peace for myself, and
Yeah,
also peace around me. So that
yeah,
has helped me a lot.
right, right,
So setting my priorities right.
right. And I think that's most important because
So
if you are at peace with yourself, you will be able to do your best work.
right,
And I
right.
think that should be something obvious, but somehow a lot of people are struggling with that in today's world. And I think
They
the more
know it, but they're not doing it.
exactly, I mean, the more we speak about it, the better, because
Right. Yeah.
the more and more people into that get into that zone, we'll see a better world. So
Right.
amazing, Nilima. I think we are at the end of our time. This was a lovely conversation. I would love to continue, and in fact, given the opportunity, we would engage again further. Some
Definitely.
exciting things are happening at your end. Probably you would have more exciting things to
Sure.
share with us very very soon. Anything you want to add from your end, Nilima, at this point?
No, firstly, yes, thank you, Vikram, for having me on the show. And I think I have spoken a lot. As
No,
I
no.
said, if as I said now, I mentioned also, you give a mic in my hand and I can just go on and on. So yes, I would say for the audience who's watching it,
Yeah,
uh, just I the most important is learn to manage yourself, because once you are able to manage yourself, I think all the things are taken care of. So
right,
don't get into that self-doubt mode. Don't get into ki ye kaise, because perfection is a myth. I strongly believe that. Perfection is a myth. Don't get into
absolutely.
anything perfect. Manage yourself, automatically the self-doubt and everything gets managed. So
Right,
take care
right.
of yourself, because if you are taken care of, I think rest of the things are so taken care of. So love yourself, pamper yourself, and take care of yourself. Rest, all the things are taken care.
That's the loveliest thing I think that anybody can tell anyone, and I completely resonate with that because I keep telling everybody that the first and foremost duty you have is toward yourself, and that takes care of everything else actually.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's lovely. And Nilima, thank you so much once again for taking out the time and being with us and sharing your knowledge, your experience, your wisdom. And it's been a lovely session. And I look forward to connecting with you again and probably having you again on the show.
Thank
And
you.
we will be in touch. And thank you so much. We'll see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.